The Artemis Initiative was one of those happy accidents that happens in life. So I was reading an article in the Courier Journal back in 2014. And in that article, it said something to the effect of, the only woman honored with statuary on public land in the state of Kentucky is Carolina, which was General Castleman's horse. It was a statue in Louisville. And I thought, this can't be true. So my purpose was to create monuments to women and minorities, people who I believe have had a lesser voice throughout history. But Eleanor Jordan was the director of the Commission on Women way back in 2014 when I started the project to try to honor a woman in the capital of Kentucky. And she worked very closely with me, and she and a group of women who worked with her ultimately made the decision of who it would be, and I was delighted that it was Netty Depp.
Her name was Netty Baylis Quartz Depp, one of 6 children born to a rural Barren County family who placed a high value on education. The year was 1913, 7 full years before women received the right to vote in the United States. At the time, Netty's brother Orrin was running for the elected office of Barren County School Superintendent, but he suddenly became ill and died. Netty, an educator, ran in her brother's place and was voted in as the first female public official in Barren County. She took office in 1914.
I learned about her when I was very young because one of my cousins, Sam Terry, actually wrote a book about her. And so when I was probably in high school, they disseminated the book. You know, everybody in the family had a copy, and so I was introduced to her through the book.
The sort of magical thing about Netty was that she obtained her own early education and became a teacher. And after a while, she realized that she could become a better teacher, that she could evolve from being a teacher to being an educator, and approaching things on a far larger scale.
I honestly think her legacy, if you have to distill it down to something small, even though I think her legacy has a lot of breadth, but if I had to distill it down to a couple of points, I think it would be the number of children she educated, because it went from a couple dozen to hundreds just over the course of a few years, and all of the children she educated, the diverse group of children she was dedicated to educating. So that kind of brings in the compulsory education laws, and it brings in unifying the curriculum, and it brings in adding a high school and all of those things. But the sheer breadth of what she did in education was pretty outstanding. She really had a passion for making sure that children had every opportunity to learn everything they could and make the most out of their lives. It's such an honor to be related to someone who was so persistent and was willing to continue to fight for what she thought was right and to do what she thought was best for the children of Kentucky.
In her successful 4-year tenure as Barren County School Superintendent, Depp standardized classroom curricula, created the first 4-year high school in Barren County, tripled student attendance in the district, made art, music, and business courses mandatory, and even paid off the district's debt. An ordinary woman with an insatiable passion for education, and for her great-great-niece, a ready-made subject for her work.
Physicality. She was tall and thin, and she had very chiseled features. She had very beautiful chiseled features, a strong jawline, but very feminine features. And she's very statuesque, which is kind of a coincidence that we're creating a statue, you know, honoring her. So she does have very beautiful features as well. Well, I'm not specifically an historian, so as a sculptor, it is just such an honor to be part of anything that she ever did, really. It's an honor to be part of the project, and Hopefully soon she'll be standing in our Capitol where 60,000 children tour every year, and she will be an inspiration to many more people.